Welcome to the last board of our Rebellion the Rim pivotal battle. It's still the first pivotal battle we're looking at, and fortunately enough, this is now the end of it. So what we're looking at here is beginning of round 4. And what we are doing is the Imperial team decided to go first with the ISD, activate 4 more squadrons with a squadron command from it. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to clear out the E-wing that you can see here, that is the most left of the squadron ball. So we can then use 2 decimators to still rhyme or shoot the front of the MC-75. So what we did was we moved up Jendon, who you can see on the left on the screen, and he made one of the decimators shoot the E-wing for 2 damage, and now Mauler Mythil is coming in, and we're trying to put him where he's in a spot where he isn't engaged by Wedge, because Wedge of course has escort, so we would have to shoot Wedge. So after a bit of finagling there, he splashes all the guys for 1 damage. And then he goes on to, I believe, killing the E-wing. And then we go on to bomb the front of the MC-75 with 2 more decimators. Regarding this battle, I've cut out a lot of stuff because I just wanted to get where to actually conclude this one. So a lot of the squadron fighting has been cut out because it's not particularly interesting. Like here you're gonna see the bombing because that was actually important. And I believe they did a rather good job. I don't know anymore, but I think so. And what we then did was shoot the ISD into the MC-75, and it left the MC-75 at 1 health. So we decided to just ram the MC-75 with the ISD instead of shooting it with the side as well. So we would stay out of close range of the torpedo ships behind the MC-75. Yeah, so here we go. The MC-75 taking some more damage from bombing, I believe. Sorry. Yeah, so fire spray bombing the front, I believe. I don't know. Let's see. Come on. Ah, no, we took a TIE Defender. Did we not? No, we did not. We took Marek. Okay. So this is Marek coming in. Just with that Rhymer range bombing into the front of the MC-75. And then... Come on. Bit less measuring, please. So here another 2 blue dice for doing 2 damage, because I mean Marek still almost every time does 2 damage, so he's just so great. I love Marek Steel. He's one of my favorite squadrons. So yeah, this is still Armada 1.0, and we've since already played 1 more round, and I'm gonna hype you guys. It's gonna get good, okay? It's gonna get really good. And our fleets are starting to come together really, really well. I like where our Empire team is headed, even though we're still losing on the grand scheme of things a lot of battles. I think the score right now is 10 for Rebels and 8 for Imperials. But yeah, going on, we still think it's still deciding which defense tokens to spend, and I hope the front arc shot will come in at some point. So I think we decided to reroll almost all of the accuracies here because it was a shot to the front, and they have the ship has ECMs anyway, so accuracies wouldn't have done that much. But he ECM braced and went down to 1 health. Sorry, it's really early in the morning here. And he also contained, and that left the ship at 1 health, if I'm correct. And then we decided to also still go risky and shoot the MC-80 in the front, because we wanted to try and kill the MC-80 as well. And then the ISD just went speed 1 ahead and ended up ramming, and the MC-75 died. They went with the Nebulon next to try and sway the squadron more in their favor. Then we went with the Raider that was still in front of the MC-80 to try and kind of save that Raider. It did some flakking. Hopefully I didn't leave all the flakking in here. Oh no, please tell me I didn't. Okay, I did. But anyway, the Raider then will be trying to run away. You can also already see that our squadrons have died a bit out in the front of the ISD due to Yavaris activating prior. And let's just say my Raider rolls weren't that good. You're gonna see the front shot, which could have given the MC-75. I think it actually did give the MC-75 a crit, but it could have been better. So this is still flakking going on here, and now this is the front shot. And I decided to reroll both blacks to fish for an assault proton torpedo crit, which I then did. And he had to already use all of his defense tokens, which was rather nice for us, because now we're all red. He also had, which was rather funny, 2 damage controls on the same ship now. So if you were to overlap, well, it says whenever you overlap something, you take an additional damage. So if you were to overlap the dust field, he would have taken 2 damage cards just from overlapping the dust field, which normally doesn't do any damage, which I thought was rather funny. Then we had the MC-30 activated, was still at medium range. It opted out to ram the Yavaris here to stay at medium range to the ISD. Then we had our Quasar activate more of our squadrons, and we just tried to actually win the rest of the squadron war. So we brought in Vader to try. I think we tried to kill Wedge here. Oh no, I left squadron rolls in again. Oof. To everybody who's watching this, I'm sorry. I should have cut some other things out even more. But yeah, Vader is nice. He did 3 damage there. And then we brought in a TIE Interceptor that had respawned from my reserve hangar decks, and I believe that one actually killed Wedge because it had 2 rerolls. Yeah, and that's Wedge dead. And then kind of all the other Rebel squadrons had already activated at that point. So we just brought in more stuff to try and kill more stuff. And I think this is a shot against Dutch. And since Dutch only has 2 braces, he took 2 damage there. And then this is the counter. No, then it wasn't Dutch, I suppose. Ah, it was Tycho we were trying to kill. Yeah, it was Tycho. And then we brought in Saber to snipe at Tycho again. Sorry. I don't know why I actually left all of this in. Probably to show you guys, like I cut this a week ago, so I'm sorry for the bad post commentary. But yeah, the squadron war, pretty much most things off of both sides just died. But I think a lot more rebel stuff actually died. So Tycho died there, and then another A-wing died there. And they would not be able to activate those in the next turn again, because they're dead. Oh my god, such good commentary, much wow. Oh man. Now we still have the fire spray, and it was I think we don't actually know what we did with that. But yeah, Quasar rolling up, and I think now the cuts actually become a bit faster. Here we have another transport being useless. No, not useless. It's there for moral support, I'm sorry. Moral support, yes. And then my little transport going for a run here, because it had no scatters and a angry looking CR90 in its back. So it jumped over there, which I thought was a really cool maneuver. The rebels didn't think the same. And then here the hammerhead went and shot my raider for 1 damage, and also rammed my raider for a damage card, which would later prove essential. And then the hammerhead went on and suicided into the ISD, ramming it. And the ISD at that point had almost no shields remaining, and I think it was half health, so we were kind of we knew it was going to die. And then this transport came in and tried to cut off the CR90, and then the CR90 came in, not doing much to the transport because it still had scatter. And what we actually waited for was we delayed as much as possible, so that the with this activation as well, so that the MC80 would have to go into long range for against my Architons, because the Architon still has ambush gun too, so it can't be obstructed. And that actually proved rather lethal, because I had 2 rounds of shooting with my Architons against the MC80, and that was pretty good. I think we also had Gozanti flotillas with concentrate fire shooting that MC80 as well. But yeah, here comes the MC80 shot to the front of the ISD, and I think the intel office had the brace, so we had to brace there, and then the ISD was down to not much hull left, but still hanging on. Come on, cut, please, cut. And then since I don't have much video left here, what also died was my raider, and the ISD died the next turn, but we also managed to kill the CR90 and the MC30 with squadrons, and my Architons killed the MC80 and Yavaris just from sheer shooting, which was really impressive. That guy is the real MVP. Yeah, so this was the maneuver of the MC80, and then I could shoot that thing with my Architons, because it wasn't behind the dust cloud anymore. And I should really get turbo laser reroll circuits on the Architons. That would be a really good upgrade. So this is beginning of round 5. I think this is the side shot from the ISD, and then the ISD moved forward because it had to, and it just died. And this is the abomination of a roll against my radar. I had to put it in here, intensifying a blue die, and then re-rolling a blue die, and then external racks. And now these external racks were the dice that actually killed me. Look at this. That kind of luck on external racks, and that was just exactly what killed me, which was really, really sad. Because he then proceeded to ram me, and that was point perfect. Because if my radar would have lived here, it would have just flown away at speed 4 and no one would have touched it anymore. So this was really sad. And then I did some shenanigans with the transports, and this is where the Jaina's Light came in, and where we actually later on killed it with the remaining squadrons, because we killed almost all the rebel squadrons, and we had, I think, 1 fire spray and 2 decimators left, and Reimer as well. And then this one killed the ISD. Sad big ISD, but he took a lot of damage, so that was really good. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you much more here. The final MOV was 350 to 700 and something, so it was a really, really hard win for the Empire here. Even though we lost that, because we lost like 100 points of squadrons, and we lost 150 points of ships, 200 points of squadrons. We lost 200 points of squadrons almost. And rebels lost, like, I believe, just 400 points in ships in total, just with the 2 big ships and the smaller ships they lost. So this was a hard win for the Empire, and it was, I really liked it. I'm sorry for the rebels. I got really competitive in the end, and I didn't mean to offend anyone, but I was a bit overjoyed. So anyway, if you like this one, comment down below. If you want to see something else than Rebellion in the Rim on this channel, tell me what in the comments as well, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.